No, but femboys are trans people. How can you say femboys at school? My almost teen is being red pilled at school. And it's funny because it starts really subtly. I think the first comment was femboys are weird. And I was like, wait a minute, but you love trans people. How can you say femboys are weird? I don't know, but femboys are just weird. Trans people are cool. We started watching Adolescence last night, and
like they don't even be knowing. It's very subtle, very subtle. You miss a lot of stuff. You got to pay attention. You got to watch it like a hawk, but you really have to be informed. So that's why I'm going to, moving forward, I'm going to do a lot more content on, just like words and verbiage to look out for, and ways to combat it though. But yeah, you gotta really be vigilant, man. Like it's so easy to red pill a child, 9, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-year-old boy. So easy. It's so incredibly easy. Like you could be a really good parent. You could be in your home, like being a great role model. You know what I mean? Like all that stuff, all the things. And then it just takes them to come across like a small amount of content and boom, the seed is planted. You know, I remember a long time ago, I mean, this was years ago, maybe 4 years ago. My son, who is now 9, one day he was like out of nowhere, he just like started talking about God and how he believed in God and how God is real and like all this stuff, right? Now, mind you, me and his mother are both atheists. We've never taken this boy to church. We've never taken him to synagogue. We never taken him to the mosque. We've never prayed. We don't even say bless you like 90% of the time. Like we are not a religious house whatsoever, right? Spiritual, none of that stuff. But he started talking about God. And I was like, where the hell? I'm talking to my wife. I'm like, where the hell did he learn about God from? And my wife was like, YouTube. And I was like, what? Why? Like, we're the 5-year-old coming in contact with videos about God. And lo and behold, one day, I was downstairs with him. He was on his game, on his iPad. And it just like a video came. It was like I don't know if it was a short or just a video. I don't remember what it was. It could even have been an advertisement or something like that. I just remember it being like about God. It was like a religious, it was just like some religious based video. And it was about God. And it was talking about how God is real. And you must accept him in your heart, and God is love and all of that stuff, which my son, he's a lover boy, really sweet boy. So he was like, love? What? Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm down for that. Who doesn't need more love in the world? Who doesn't need more love in their lives? So he gravitated towards it. But I'm like, where did you get, you know what I mean? Like, I don't ever talk about it. Your mom never talks about it. His family, even though some of them are religious, none of them talk about it in front of him because they know our feelings on religion. But he still got it. Nonetheless, he still got it. Now, a couple of years later, he ended up, deprogramming himself or unlearning it or unpacking it or whatever you want to say. He did it on his own. Really funny, the way he did it was one day, I don't remember how, but he figured out that Santa wasn't real. One day, this is what I knew. I was like, he might be okay. He figured out that Santa wasn't real. And he said, well, if Santa isn't real, then God probably isn't real. And that's how he figured it out. And then from then on, he would be like, yeah, I mean, God's not real because Santa's not real. So I love him. I love him to pieces.
My almost 13-year-old came in and asked what it was about. And I told them, and they were interested. Wait a minute, but you love trans people. How can you say femboys are weird? I don't know, but femboys are just weird. Trans people are cool. We started watching Adolescence last night, and my almost 13-year-old came in and asked what it was about. And I told them, and they were interested because I said, a lot of kids get red pilled, both boys and girls. And they don't realize it because it's very subtle. It starts very subtly. I think it's like full on incel once they get to the 80-20 theory. But it'll start with things like femboys or alpha males or Beckies. I think it's really important for parents to know the lingo so that they can talk to their kids and look for signs to see if I bet the majority of people's children right now, at least almost teenagers around this age, are subtly being red pilled online on video games, even if they're not in group chats or whatever, or on Discord, just playing even Roblox, even Genshin Impact, whatever.
Wait, I just realized something. I think this is the video that I shared yesterday. I had a few of these videos ready to go. So I apologize to anybody that saw this video yesterday. Just bear with me. I have other ones, obviously, but it just clicked. I was like, I think this is the one that I actually shared yesterday when I did the debunking of the bullshit manosphere. You know, they were like, because the manosphere is running scared of the adolescence movie, like show. They like can't stand it because they're getting exposed. And some weirdo content creator made a video about, how adolescence is like they were trying to debunk adolescence and didn't do they didn't do a good job. But I think I shared this video in there, but I apologize for anybody that saw that yesterday, but I do want to share it again because it is a good starter for the conversation that I'm going to have.
Whatever it is, it's happening there. And also happening at school, because there are kids at school. There's likely someone in every school district, some kid that's on some kind of Discord or has an older sibling who's been red pilled, and that's it. That's how it gets passed along. Watch adolescents. Inform yourself.
Last week I posted a video talking about how I successfully de-pilled my red-pilled son. This was off the back of watching Netflix on adolescence, and I was seeing a lot of people talking about it and like saying how important the social commentary behind it was and how important it is to sit with your age-appropriate children and sit and watch that and like get them to understand the things behind it. But no one was talking about how to communicate with children who have already been exposed to it. And this happened to me like 3 or 4 years ago when my son was like 11 or 12, way back when no one was talking about it, right? Andrew Tate was kind of like at his all-time high at that point, and I had to start consuming his content in order to understand what my son was talking about. So like I said,
today in Alive, this guy asked me, why would he was like, I was like telling them, I don't know, we were talking about red pill content. He was like, why would I ever consume red pill content? Which he's lying, he does. But I was like, so you can know what they say? Like, what the hell? Like, I read about, like, what do you, like, if people are going to tell us they're playing, why wouldn't I read it? You know what I mean? Like, if I play football and you're going to run a play and you were like, hey, you want to see you want to see the play we're about to run? I'd be like, absolutely. Like, I want to know, like, if I could guess the play you're going to run, if I could get some exposure, you're exposing me to your scheme and yeah, absolutely. So definitely get informed. Definitely consume some red pill content. Nothing's wrong with it. I mean, I'm not afraid to consume red pill content. It will never work on me. So if you're a parent and you're an adult and you're just trying to, know what is going on, be in the know, as they say, you definitely need to consume it. You definitely need to consume it.
Say, I have had to engage with that content in order to understand it. And I would also get him to show me videos that he thought he agreed with and like clips and snippets of like anything that got said that he agreed with. And we would deconstruct that. We would have an actual conversation. Where do you think this comes from? Why do you think he's saying that? Why do you think he feels that way? Consider the source. Does he look like he knows what he's talking about? Or could he potentially be coming at this from a very personal and emotional standpoint? And this was all the groundwork that I laid in order for my son to then have, once that was all deconstructed, to have the critical thinking skills in order to not let it blossom again. Do you know what I mean? We took it out root and stem. Right?
Teaching my son critical thinking skills is one of the most important things in my life right now. Like, making sure that my son has critical thinking skills is paramount. like if I don't teach my son nothing, I don't care if I don't teach him 1 + 1 = 2. He'll figure that shit out. Teaching him critical thinking skills in this country, because they do not teach critical thinking in America as a country, in our society, I am all in on teaching critical thinking. All in. Like, you have to do it. You have to do it. And if you don't have it, you need to get some yourself. I ain't gonna even hold you, because you can develop your critical thinking skills.
Right? And don't get me wrong, this means that we still have to have very open and honest conversations about these things. And there will be times where I'll see a video or he'll see a video and we'll show each other and we'll say, like, what do you think about that? Like, where do you think this comes from? And we'll have these very open conversations. And I see that a lot of people don't really know where to begin these conversations with their children. But the important thing is that they do begin. You have to make sure they do begin. It doesn't matter where they start, they just have to start. And obviously I will say, and I did say in that video, because annoyingly, it was in like the 200 view jail for ages. And then all of a sudden, last night, it just went crazy. And at 9 o'clock this morning, when I woke up, I had over 100 notifications for that video alone. It was crazy. And I did actually think when I put the video out, this one's not going to go viral, even though it absolutely should, because this is content that people and parents definitely need. And even people, you know, that are just like by proxy associated with children that may not necessarily have children, like education staff and things like that. Like, these things need to be out there for people, and nobody's really like giving any advice on that. So I've got a 9-minute video where I talk about how we deconstructed that. And I did get one comment on there that I do want to address at the minute, which was I had said that this sort of content, my son told me that this content appealed to him in the first place because it was very tolerable. Like, it was very palatable. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was easily taken in. It wasn't, there was nothing overtly like jarring about it.
That's the thing about red pill content. It's vague. It's vague. They don't really say anything. Like, they don't ever, nothing they say is like introspective. Nothing they're saying is like is beyond the surface. It's thinly veiled. It's on the surface. It's identity politics. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, me man, you woman. I eat steaks, you eat salads. Like, it's always like that. And that's really easy for most people to consume, but it's very easy for a child to consume. Like, it's perfect for them, right? So that's how that's a part of its insidiousness. It's how easy it is to consume for those types of brains.
So it would appeal to like his baser sexism. And if you want to deny that that exists or not, you absolutely can. But that doesn't mean that it's not true. You can.
Appealing to your baser, and I love that she used that word, baser. That is pandering, just so we're clear. Like, appealing to your baser nature. And that, you know, when it comes in this context, especially things that are negative in nature, that negatively impact society in nature, that aren't necessarily accepted in polite society, that is pandering. So 100%, like red pill rhetoric, red pill content is like peak pandering.
That exists or not, you absolutely can, but that doesn't mean that it's not true. You can deny it, but it's an irrefutable fact that as a society we do have undercurrents of sexism, misogyny, racism, homophobia, transphobia. We also have very, very strong overcurrents of it as well, by the way. But we do have these undercurrents that are fed into our children, such as boys don't cry and women are crazy. Do you know what I mean? Those are,
and boys will be boys,
sexist remarks, and those things live within our children because they hear people say them, right? So it appealed to that kind of nature in him. That's all I'm saying when I say that, by the way, is it's very, very basic. And because it appealed to that, like, it would start putting out something that was a little bit stronger and a little bit harder to get his teeth into, but eventually he would digest that information, and then it would be even worse and even worse. And then eventually it was getting to a point where it's like, I don't really agree with what this man's saying, but he hasn't stirred me wrong yet. And I understood and appreciated and actually respected everything he was saying before, so why would he lie to me now? And that was how he started believing in that kind of stuff. And I think that this is what people are missing, is it's not overt. It's not coming in and jamming itself down their throat. It's building brick by brick. And because it builds brick by brick, you've got time in which to reach them and start deconstructing that wall. Like, once you get that wall between you, it's going to be way harder. But if you start deconstructing that brick by brick, as soon as you fucking find it, you're going to have a better time. right? That's all I'm going to say. You're going to have a better time. But the thing is, it doesn't matter how these conversations start. They just need to start. And sometimes it does just begin with trying to understand where your child's coming from. And, you know, why does this appeal to you? What do you think is true about this? And why have you come to that decision? Because my son was like 11 or 12 when he was consuming this stuff. He didn't know what half of the things were that the men were talking about. But he just liked the way these men were, because the thing is, to an 11-year-old boy, these podcast bros and these people that are putting out these videos, they look confident. They look large and in charge. They look like they know what they're talking about. For me, they look like insecure men that are trying to dominate and trying to like put their own opinions out there and heighten themselves to feel better about themselves. But it screams insecurity to me. But to an 11-year-old boy, they look like confident men. They look like they know what they're talking about.
That's why a lot of not all in general, the podcast bros and the like even like the young, because like I said, my son consumes a lot of like the Roblox, dude that are playing the Roblox game or whatever, and they're like, oh, you got, and they're doing all the voices, and they seem like little kids, but they're like 19, 20, 21. And then, like I said, they had earlier I said that they have like other pages, like their Roblox gameplay page will have like 4 million subs. And then they'll have like another page where they're doing like lifestyle content, and that page will have 2 million subs. Then they'll have like another page where they do like mukbang videos and shit, and that page has like 1.5. So they have a ton of subscribers, right? A ton of children are watching their content. And they just kind of go from like, the kids just go from like one page to the other. It's just a natural progression. And when I see, it's like my son also now, I don't care. I'm not a car guy. I'm not interested in cars. My wife also isn't interested in cars. I mean, we have a cool car, I think, but I'm not like overly obsessed with cars. You know what I'm saying? But my son for years, oh my God, I want a Lamborghini out of nowhere. I'm like, a Lamborghini, cool. But I never poo-pooed it. I was like, man, you can get any car you want. You're gonna have to work for it though, right? I'm already planting that seed. I was like, Lamborghini, absolutely not. I have no interest in buying you a Lamborghini ever. Now, side note, we have a Wrangler. We have a brand new Jeep Wrangler. And my son thinks it's the coolest car on the planet. And he actually thinks it's cooler than the Lamborghini. And now he's like, I want this car when I get older. And I was like, cool, I'll buy you a Jeep. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can get you a Jeep, but a Lamborghini, absolutely not. But the way that he found this was through these Roblox guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy.
An 11-year-old boy, they look like confident men. They look like they know what they're talking about. They look like, well, they would never steer me wrong, would they? Do you know what I mean? So it is about manipulation as well in that sense too, because obviously, like, children are easily manipulated. And I will put this out there, right? We all manipulate our kids. Listen, don't tell me you don't do it in December when you're like, if you know me, if Santa's not going to come, you know you're going to give them their presents anyway, because you've spent a fortune on them. But we all use it to our advantage. It's manipulation, and we all do it. And sometimes it's just silly like that. But sometimes it's manipulating children into believing and being indoctrinated into a system that is not beneficial to them. It would have changed the trajectory of my son's entire life had I not taken that out root and stem when I did. Can you imagine how far down that pipeline he will be now? He's 50.
Now, I'm going to clock something else too. I doubt that a father or his father would have clocked this. Highly doubt it. Highly doubt it. Most men, the vast majority of men would not clock this. What she's talking that she clocked would not have clocked it. Soy boys, all of that stuff, probably not. Probably not so much. Probably not so much. Because y'all think like that. Y'all think like that.
15 this week. And he would have been so much worse. And I think the hardest part of it as well is that a lot of parents are getting in the comment section and being like, I don't know, like, I just wouldn't even know how to go about this. But I think the main thing that people struggle with is the idea of thinking that they're a bad parent because their child has had access to that. But there was a TikTok account a little while ago talking about they'd made a profile disguised as a young boy, and they were liking things about cars and, motivational speeches and things like that. And then within 2 days, that red pill stuff came up, and then they started they started trying to indoctrinate them into it. So it is a media problem as well. Like, it is coming through from them, and it is a real big problem. But it's almost like it's inevitable. So what you have to do is equip your children with the critical thinking skills in order to deconstruct it before it even gets constructed.
That somebody said that to me today. They were like, well, that you're not supposed to let them watch that stuff. And I was like, no, I don't believe in that. I don't believe, like, as long as it, within reason, age appropriate or whatever, I'm gonna let my son watch it, and then I'm just gonna swat it down as it crops up. Because if he never comes in contact with it, I can give him critical thinking and all of that stuff, but it's a totally different thing when you haven't encountered it in the wild, right? So I want him to be trained on how to combat these monsters out in the wild, in their, on their turf, right? So I don't mind him seeing it, as long as I'm there to be like, hey, what's that about? What do you think? Same thing. I do the same shit with him. Wow, that's a funny word. Sigma. Where do you get that from? Sigma boy. What's that? Right?
Do you know what I mean? And that's not easy to do if you don't have them yourself. I see so many adults on the internet who don't know how to think critically about the videos that are turning up on their For You page. They don't know how to discern whether that video was meant for them or not. So they'll get in the comment section and be like, why is this on my newsfeed? Because you keep interacting with stuff like that. That's how this works. Not only that, but there's a lot of people who refuse to do the inner work anyway, and they don't have the ability to have these soft and understanding and respectful conversations with their children when they believe in something they think that they shouldn't. And I feel like that is one thing that I really was going to struggle with if I had not had the skills that I had. Now I've got a law degree, so I can have debates that are meant to be about emotional subjects in a very calm and concise manner. I know a lot of people have that. That is a skill. I had to learn that, right? The same way that I have also studied psychology and sociology, both at college and university level. I just don't have a degree in them. And those things helped me as well. And I understand that not every parent is going to be as well equipped as I was. And that's why I'm putting this information out there, because I'm telling you now, this worked for me. And let me also read.
If I wasn't in these spaces, if I was just, me without my wife, not in these spaces or whatever, I wouldn't be equipped to have these conversations. No chance in hell. Zero chance in hell.
Reiterate this as well. I said it before. Not every child is the same. Not every child is the same. My son was off on the front foot when it came to this, but there's going to be a lot of kids going off the back foot. Like, my son was raised by women. I would say 95% of his life has been spent around women. I've got 7 sisters, and my mum.
I don't think that matters at all.
Was around a lot when he was a lot younger. Not so much now because he's nearly 15. Do you know what I mean? So he doesn't want to.
I'm no. As the first time I think that's irrelevant. Don't have nothing to do with it.
Hang out with us anymore. But and then he's got my grandmas as well. So his great grandmas, he's absolutely surrounded by women, and he still had the audacity to believe in that shit because he didn't think it applied to us. So
exactly, that it has nothing to do with how many women you're around or what. That has nothing to do with it whatsoever. It's all made up.
So that was a large part of the problem as well. Like, if you've got women in your son's life who he loves and respects, make sure he knows that this applies to them as well. These thoughts and feelings and actions that these men are perpetuating and the things that they are saying, they also apply to the women that boy himself loves and cares about. And I think that is probably one of the biggest things that helped with my son, because he is an empathetic child and he is emotionally well balanced. I actually am very, very lucky that my child is as receptive to this stuff as he is, but that's because me and him have a very good relationship. He's a very mild-tempered child. I actually can't remember the last time I saw him kick off or have an emotional outburst, and he's 15. You know what I mean? I'm very, very lucky, and I am well aware of that, and I do need to put that out there. But the important thing is that we start acknowledging that this problem, it can come for anyone. Like I said, my child is mild-mannered. He is very chill. He doesn't have emotional outbursts. He's very emotionally well-balanced. He's very, very connected with women. He is so open-minded. I've got a trans brother. He literally accepted that, no sweat, right? He does not let anybody talk shit about anybody who is trans or anybody, that's in the LGBTQ at large. He doesn't let anybody chat shit about their mum. He has a real funny thing about boys chatting shit about their mum, and yet he still fell victim to the red pill movement.
Which is proof that it don't fucking matter how many women or what type of women, how strong the presence of women. It's all about the critical thinking. It's all about debunking the talking point. Like that's what it's about. And it's because we can compartmentalize that. We can compartmentalize that. So, but I did want to show you guys something that I found. So these are some of the videos that my son consumes, and I've never seen these. You know, these little their little front pages or whatever you want to call them. But look at them. Do you see? You see the explicit pornographic images? And it's look, these are Roblox. This is a Roblox video. Find out the schoolmate who hacked me. And it has like that weird picture of that girl in front, and you look at it, look, it's just Roblox. That's different. Look, Roblox. But look at the picture again. Look, OMG, sexy, daddy, shut up. 1.5 million views. 1.7 million views. Who do you think is viewing that? Who do you think is viewing that? You know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy. So and that person's name, or this is called Emma Story. So Emma Story is the one that's making this problematic content. I just wanted to share that with you guys. There's so much weird shit going on. Like, I don't even know if my son even sees that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't, how quick you click on it or whatever. I don't know. But I feel like he does. I do. He watched like 4 or 5 of those videos. You know what I'm saying? And for a second I thought maybe they just played, and you know what I mean? Like, but then I could tell that because he had watched a part of it and and went through and then watched another video. He watched a whole one of them, then watched a piece of another video, then watched a whole, So he's definitely consuming that stuff, and I have to talk to him about that now, because I was looking for some other video I was going to show you guys, but then I found that and I was like, oh, that's interesting. This is even worse, But you just got to be vigilant, man. You just got to be vigilant because, like she said, they're gonna funnel that stuff to your kids. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, right? And you could either try to shield your kids from every fucking thing on the planet, or you can equip them. You know what I mean? Or you can do not an either or, because I do both, but to a certain extent, you can't really shield them. You know what I mean?